Welcome back to Coast Sports. Time now for the Week 9 Power Rankings. Drew, it was your turn to do the rankings this week. I'm excited.
Yes, yes.
Tim, let's go quickly through the bottom, starting with Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, Cardinals, Bears, Giants, pretty self-explanatory. These teams all stink, and now Daniel Jones ACL gone.
Yeah, I love putting the Giants in this tier now. I would move them down here as well.
Yeah,
Honestly, I don't know if they're going to win another game this season. So I think the Giants might now be the front runners for Caleb Williams. Like with Daniel Jones, they have a chance to win some upsets. With Tommy DeVito, I don't think that's happening. Next tier.
ex-Syracuse player, by the
Is
way.
he
All
really?
right. Yes, he did. He was transferred after freshman year to Illinois. They play hard, tier 9, 29 through 27. You got the Panthers, you got the Commanders, you got the Patriots. These three teams, if you don't prepare for them well, they could beat you. But at the end of the day, they are not good at all. Um, yeah, the Patriots come out and it looks like they kind of have a chance to beat the Commanders there. They were driving, and then the Commanders, picked them off to end the game. So these two teams are kind of interchangeable, but I do trust Bill Belichick a little bit more than I do the Commanders and who's the coach there again? It's ex
Rivera.
yeah, ex Panther coach Rivera. Yeah. And also the Commanders sold away a few guys. So close game. Patriots had a chance to win it. I still like the Patriots a little bit more. That's why I have them ahead. And then you got the Panthers.
I don't know.
No,
Personally, I would move Washington up a tier. They are 4-5. They're still in the wild card chase, and they did just beat New England. But yeah, I understand the sentiment. They did.
they
They
sold players. Like that was kind of my thing. Like they're selling players. I might like in that they're selling the season away. If they didn't sell those players, they play close to the Eagles. Then they come in and they beat the Patriots. But I just don't see it. They just don't have enough talent on that roster.
yeah.
I think Rivera is a really good head coach that will always coach hard and will put his team in games. But I think the Patriots have a little bit more talent, honestly.
Yeah, I would replace Washington in this tier with Tampa, but let's move on. Get hot and who knows? Okay.
All right, we got the Packers, we got the Rams, we got the Buccaneers and the Broncos. These four teams, they need to get hot to get in the playoffs, but it could happen. All four of these teams have beaten a solid team. I think all of them have. And the Packers just blew out the Rams. What happened there, Levi?
What happened was Brett Rippon is not a good quarterback.
Yeah, but 20 points is kind of a lot for the Packers. I mean, they've
Yeah,
been awful with Jordan Love.
yeah, Jordan had a solid game. Doesn't really change my mind about him.
I mean, me neither. That's why he's at the bottom of the tier.
Yeah, when you're bad, you're bad. Any quarterback can have a good game against a bad team. So
Yeah, and the Buccaneers are still in to win the South. So let's move on.
you still think they can win the South?
I do. They lost by 2 to the Texans, who are rolling. They have 3 wins.
All right, we got to go quick.
Sneaky good. Got the Colts, we got
Falcons.
Titans, Falcons, and we have CJ Stroud.
I don't know
And
about the Falcons here.
why? Tell me.
Well, I mean they have a quarterback dilemma. Do we start? Who should we start at quarterback? Should we start our terrible starter or should we start our terrible backup? I don't know. That's a tough one.
I mean, they lost by 3 to a Vikings team that I think are
They
still going to
lost.
try to go to the
They
playoffs.
lost to a team whose quarterback didn't
I,
even know the playbook.
I no, Josh Dobbs did know the playbook.
No,
That was the impressive thing. He learned it in 4 days.
no, he literally didn't know the plays. He didn't even know the first names of some of his players.
Yeah, and Josh
They
Dobbs is a
did.
dog. He's a
And
dog.
well, Josh Dobbs has never been a dog before until he played the Falcons defense.
Why do you think the Falcons are that bad?
Because they lost to
They
Josh
have
Dobbs.
4 wins, Levi. They have 4 wins. They were 3 points
Yeah,
away from getting a fifth.
I just do not trust this Atlanta team. I think they lose.
Okay.
I think they lose to the Cardinals next week. Kyler Murray's making his season return. I think they lose to the Cardinals this week.
All right, we'll see. The middle class of mediocre.
Yeah.
These teams are so mid. It's like I was struggling to find a name for it. I mean, you see they're at the middle here, 18 through 15. They're mid all around the board. They have, you know, arguably below average like mid to below average quarterbacks, mid to below average defenses. They're mid to below average. I mean, they're mediocre of mediocre. All four of these teams, the Raiders, the Saints, the Vikings, and the New York Jets.
Yeah, I will just say this: the Saints they look like they may have found something. They are doing a lot of Taysom Hill. They're doing a lot of Derek Carr getting the ball to Chris Olave. They're getting their tight ends more involved. The Saints offense is starting to
Yeah.
get a little bit of a roll right now.
Mhm.
5-4. I don't know. I honestly think if the Saints played the Seahawks, I think that's what the matchup would be in the playoffs right now. The 5 against the 4 seed. I think they would beat us. I think the Saints are better than Seattle right now.
I mean, yeah, you say they're figuring stuff out. And with all that being said, they lost by 7 to the Bears. I mean, they won by 7 to the Bears. You've always been higher on the Saints than me. That isn't changing. Let's move on.
Because Derek Carr is starting to play better, and Taysom Hill is getting really involved and playing really well as well. So I don't know. I think their offense, they've got something there. Next tier,
Hope, I like Taysom Hill, hopefully. Do I need glasses 14 through 12? I say this because I don't know if it's just me, but these three teams, for whatever reason, don't pass the eye test to me. They just don't. Maybe it's just me, and maybe I should get some new cool, go to the eye doctor and get some glasses, and I might see the world a little differently. But as of right now, before the eye, the eye test is showing these three teams do not have the it factor to go deep into the playoffs. The Steelers at 14, the Chargers at 13, and the Browns at 12. All three of these teams, they have a couple of them have good defenses. One of them has a good offense. It's kind of they're missing something. I don't, kind of feeling it around, but they're still pretty good. I don't see it. I don't see them going far.
yeah, the key is that one of these teams guaranteed to miss the playoffs, and potentially multiple of these teams will miss the playoffs. Personally, I think the Browns are the best of the three, just because I do think they have the best defense. And Deshaun at quarterback, I think he's solid. Justin Herbert, he's playing with literally nothing. I feel like as far as from the coaching, they are going to beat the Jets tonight, so they're back to 4-4. I think this is the most I've believed in the Chargers this season, actually, because their defense finally having a good game. But yeah, I agree. These teams do not pass the eye test.
Have we seen the ceiling? We got 11 through 9. Seahawks drop out of the top 10 for, one of the first times for me. Got Seahawks 11, Bills 10, Cowboys 9. I think we might have seen the ceiling for all three of these teams. The Seahawks, they beat the Lions earlier. I think that might have been their ceiling. The Bills had a good stretch after losing to the Jets week 1. That might have been their ceiling. And I think we've seen the same thing from the Cowboys beating the Rams by 23 last week. So all three of these teams, I think they've seen what their best is, and their best is not enough to win the Super Bowl, and their worst is pretty bad.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think Dallas maybe could be a little bit higher. They did play really well against the Eagles. They should have won that game. It was a Jacob Hollister situation where, I mean, they missed out for a touchdown by literally like a millimeter. And then they ended up committing a penalty and not getting into the end zone. But I think Dallas, they actually proved to me that they can play well against good teams. I totally 100% agree with Seattle, Buffalo at 11 and 10.
Prove it. 8 through 6. Got the Dolphins. We have the Lions, and we have the Jaguars. They still have something to prove to me. I don't see them making the Super Bowl as of right now. They're all missing something, and whether it be a bad line or not enough weapons or whatever it may be, there's something still missing. But these are three really solid rosters, and all three of these teams have above average quarterbacks. So I could see them proving it to me and turning their season into a Super Bowl season.
Yeah, what I would do, I would move the Cowboys into this tier, and I
They
also think,
lost to the Cardinals by like 20. I can't get over that
yeah,
loss.
but the
That's
Cowboys,
so bad.
have to prove it. That's why they have to prove it. But I also think the
They
Bengals.
had a chance to prove it against the Eagles, and they committed 2 penalties and gave up a sack.
That's why they have to prove it again. So I also think the Bengals should be in this tier, Drew. I just feel like putting the Bengals, saying that they are definitively better than three teams that have a better record than them, it's tough for me to say. And I
Well, we'll talk about him next.
the
We'll talk
Bengals,
about him next.
I know, but I think the Bengals, they might be better than the Jags, Dolphins, and Lions. But the Jags, Dolphins, and Lions all have more wins. So I think at this point they should be in the same tier. And I still think the Bengals have a lot to prove, considering that they haven't beat a team in their own division yet. But let's move on.
But you said it, Levi. You said they might be better than those 3 teams, and that is what the power rankings are all about. So in tier 2, we got one of these is not like the other, 5 through 3. The Bengals, the 49ers, and the Ravens. Levi, which one is not like the others? This is pretty obvious.
Well, it's the 49ers because they have a terrible quarterback, and the other two have elite quarterbacks.
The other two are going to be in the MVP conversation. Um, and Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson both
Brock
playing,
Purdy's in the he was in the MVP conversation a month ago.
and now he's out. But both of these quarterbacks are playing their best football I've ever seen them play these last few weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I just
So
I still think tier two for the Bengals. It just feels so high for a team
it
that
feels high. It does, but power rankings to me is what I think they are currently, and I think that they could beat anyone below them. So that's what I'm gonna put them
yeah
as.
they could, but they
I
also
think they'd be favorites. So why would I put them?
well,
Why
they
would I put
lost
them
to
behind?
they did get destroyed by the Browns and Titans.
I know, and they just beat the Bills. So let's move on.
Dude,
Super Bowl Chiefs Eagles, and I have the Eagles edging out the Chiefs because once again, the Chiefs dropped a game to the Broncos, only put up 21 against the Dolphins. Lots of unknowns still about the Chiefs, but their defense is playing really well, and I trust Patrick Mahomes to figure it out. And the Eagles, good win against the Cowboys. How many wins are they at now? 8. I mean, they're
they're
cruising.
8-1.
Yeah.
They're a good team. But can we turn the clocks back? Like 2022, who were the two best teams? Chiefs and Eagles. Same thing here. Who are the two MVP candidates? Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Oh, who is it this year? Mahomes, Jalen Hurts,
And
and
go figure. Best quarterbacks in the league, and they're here at 2-1.
it's the same story. It's like we're watching the same movie on replay.
Man,
I
crazy
think it could
stuff.
be a rematch. I think it could.
I really do. And in that case, I would actually give the edge to the Eagles as of right now.
Yeah, it's tough to win back to back, but the Chiefs, if anyone can do it, it's the Chiefs. All right, we're gonna have to wrap this up. The video is about to cut us off. So thank you all for watching. Comment down below, what are we right and wrong about? Who do you agree with more, me or Drew? Give us your power rankings down below if you want to. And thank you for watching. This has been Coast to Coast Sports. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.